The hospital had a strange kind of silence that only came between midnight and dawn. They called it the quiet hour. The lights hummed softly, the air felt heavy, and every sound seemed to echo with its own heartbeat. For Kelly, that hour felt like an endless ocean, dark, still, and impossible to cross. She sat in a hard plastic chair outside the ICU, her eyes fixed on the small glass window in the door. She kept staring at it, as if the shape might somehow change and reveal an easier way through this nightmare. Inside the room, Mark lay still. The machines did the breathing for him. The ventilator hissed in rhythm. The infusion pump ticked like a metronome, and the monitor's green line danced up and down in cold, steady patterns. The words aggressive carcinoma still echoed in her mind. The diagnosis had arrived just 2 days earlier, sharp, scientific, and impossible to soften. The doctor had spoken with practiced calm, as if he had said those words too many times before. Kelly had only nodded, again and again, because she didn't know what else to do. There were medical terms she barely understood, and a treatment plan that mapped out a future she didn't want to imagine. "We'll start treatment right away," they had told her. "There's still hope." But the words felt hollow, like stones falling into a pond that no longer rippled. By the next morning, the news had already leaked. A missed post by a social media manager, a well-meaning friend who said too much. And suddenly, there were cameras outside the hospital, flashing lights, reporters with microphones, and endless whispers about the couple everyone thought they knew. Kelly's life had always been built on bright mornings, laughter, and the polished glow of television. But this was something raw, something private, something no one should have to share with the world. She turned back to Mark. The air in the room was cold, sterile, too clean. She checked his IV line, adjusted the blanket across his knees, and pressed her thumb against his hand. There was still warmth there, a small, stubborn proof of life. Sometimes she read to him, old scripts, familiar lines, moments from their show that used to make them laugh. Other times she just sat there, letting her voice fade into the steady rhythm of machines keeping time.
Had always told stories, expressive, alive, always moving. He had been the man who could make a whole room laugh with a single crooked grin. The kind of man who would stay up late eating pizza on the studio floor, or pull his chair closer when someone needed comfort. Kelly could still remember the moment he first woke up in the emergency room. He had opened his eyes, confused and weak, the hospital gown hanging loosely on his shoulders. "You look like you haven't slept in 10 years, he'd said, with that small, lopsided smile. Through her tears, Kelly had laughed. It was all she could do, because laughter was their language, even in the darkest places. Outside their small bubble of beeping machines and whispered prayers, the world spun with chaos. Fans filled the internet with messages, prayers for Mark. Some headlines were kind, others were cruel. 2 stations had run the words, "on life support," in bold across a grainy stock photo of a hospital bed, as if his life were theirs to narrate. Social media swelled with rumors, sympathy, and confusion, all tangled together. Some people cried over the couple's old photos. Others brought flowers to the studio gates. It was strange, the way fame could be both a blessing and a blade. Strangers offering prayers, candles, and hope. And at the same time, strangers trying to pry open doors that were never meant for them. Kelly closed her eyes and let her memories unspool like a movie she couldn't pause. The first time she met Mark, the spark that wasn't about cameras or fame. The life they built, a house full of noise, art, laughter, and children. He'd always been the kind of partner who noticed the small things, how she liked her sandwich, how her shoulders tensed after long days. She had been the bright light, public, polished, always smiling. He had been her quiet center. Now, sitting in that cold room, surrounded by machines and the soft hum of time, she realized how fragile everything truly was. Their love, their fame, their ordinary moments, all of it now hung in the balance of one steady mechanical breath.